Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to week 5 of what I like to call the webinar. It is a webinar that I put together to kind of tell my story and why I chose multifamily as a real estate niche, how referrals are tied into that, as well as how my business overall really kind of revolves around those two key points. So I'm just going to kind of dive right in and tell you a little bit about myself. So I got licensed in the business in 1994. So if you do a little bit of math, that comes out to 27 years, going in on 28 years, which it seems pretty remarkable looking back. As a young guy, I was thinking, oh my God, that guy was in the business 20, 30 years. And, now I'm that guy. So it's kind of crazy to think about. But, my start to real estate and my ambition and inspiration to get into the business wasn't much different than a lot of people. We, maybe we wanted to set our own schedule. We wanted to be our own boss. We wanted to have some freedom and all those things. I checked all those boxes. I wanted to do something for myself. I kind of came from an entrepreneurial background. My father had his own business. He actually came to the country with no language and no money. That whole coming to America story that a lot of us share. And I saw that growing up and then people within our circle. I saw that growing up and I thought to myself that, if these guys can come over with, again, no language and no money and make a success of themselves, start a business, whatever all that looked like for them, I felt like that was the path that I wanted to take. And that was kind of the chip on my shoulder that I kept on there, all these years, and saying that, if I can go out and hustle like these guys did and work hard and put myself in front of the right people and kind of seize opportunity, then that's something that I can do. And if I can't, with all the opportunities available to us, we have a language, we have education, we have all this stuff. If we can't do it, then something else is wrong. I've always kind of said that too. So, growing up, I was around real estate. My dad was kind of dabbling in apartments and commercial properties and stuff like that. He was a business owner, so he owned his own space all the time. And, I was always around apartments and apartment buildings. My uncles were janitors, in fact, and, they were working for either apartment owners or condo buildings. And I'd fill in for them when they'd go out of town or, go on vacation or whatever. And I learned the operation of a building. I learned the operation of an apartment building. I learned how to talk to tenants and condo owners and stuff like that. And I learned repairs and, just the whole thing related to multifamily properties. And those guys, they started buying buildings way back when. And I don't know if they had the foresight or if they were just buying another job, which that's just because that's what they knew. They went out and started buying these buildings and operating them just like they did for other people. And it was a side business for them. And listen, we all know where real estate is going and where it's gone. And it turned out to be a hell of investment for a lot of these guys. And depending on how savvy they were along the way, they may have refinanced, they may have cashed out, bought a second building, a third building, a fourth building. Some of these guys, they're 10, 12 buildings in and they're just running their buildings. And it's a job for them and a hell of an investment. So that's what I saw growing up. And I figured that my path to least resistance to start owning some of those buildings was to get a real estate license, work for myself, and make some sales and buy a building. And that was, in fact, my business model. And I didn't realize it at the time that I had a business model, but I did. So I'd go out, I'd make some sales, hustle, get on the phones, earn some commission, save it, buy a building. Shampoo, rinse, lather, repeat, however that thing goes. So do it again and do it again. And now maybe you're going to refinance and cash out. You're going to buy another building. Maybe you're going to flip into something else. And all of a sudden, all these opportunities started to come my way. And I started prospecting for apartment buildings. And I felt that it was a very easy script. It was a very easy conversation to have. And back in 1994, 5, 6, there wasn't online lead generation. It really wasn't email in those days. And you really had to pick up the phone and, find your numbers. The way that I ended up doing it was I was going in the newspaper, and, in 1994, the Sunday paper was still like, this thick, especially in the city of Chicago. So I would just kind of go down the paper and call on for rent ads and, hope that I would get an owner and just ask them if they wanted to, my pitch was, I asked if they wanted to sell. Not, I'm sorry, asked if they were looking to buy, because what I figured out was that a lot of these guys own multiple properties, and they're always looking to buy. They're always looking for a deal, like that investor, that canned line. Yeah, I'm always looking. What do you got? I'm looking for a deal. I'm looking for a deal. So that was the pitch that I was giving way back in the day. And I was seeing a lot of success because it was an easy conversation to have. A lot of these guys, they like to talk about what they got. They like to talk about their buildings. They like to talk about their war stories and what they picked up this building for. And I know that guy and I know that guy. And it's a very small pool, the multifamily space, especially when you get into the bigger stuff, the bigger buildings. There's only a handful of people that are really doing those deals, and they all know each other, but you really get to know the players in the space, and it doesn't take long for them to get to know you as well. So now all of a sudden, as you're building this database of people that you're talking to, and you're calling on these ads and you're calling on these owners, you start to become a little bit known in the space. And that's where I was going, and I became I'm not going to call myself an expert, but it became a niche for me. And it was, it benefited me really well, because the more people that I talked to, the more credibility that I got. And just to tell you a quick story, this is the success story that I tell, that I've been telling for 20 years, 25 years. And it just always kind of brings me back down to earth, and it reminds myself of what we're in the business for, what we're here to do, and how we are to do it. So I was on the phones and I was calling my for rent ads, and I called a guy and I said, do you want to buy anything else? He said yes. He invited me to his business to meet him, to chat with him. So really, that's what we do, right? We're supposed to pick up the phone, call, talk to somebody, build rapport, get a relationship going, set a meeting, and go to a meeting. And that's exactly what happened. So I made the appointment. I went to meet this guy, and he still does. He has a successful auto body repair shop. And I walk in the door and I'm looking around for him. And before I even open my mouth, he finds me, he stops me, and he tells me that his father knows me and to do whatever I say. So, I mean, as a 24-year-old, 23-year-old kid, essentially doing that, that made me feel really good. And now I'm all of a sudden, I got some credibility on the street cred. So his father's opinion of me was really the catalyst to me working with this guy. And that's going to kind of, it's kind of go into the referral piece that I'm going to talk about in a little bit, of how this business is so small, the community is so small that referrals can be had very easily. So to make kind of a long story short, I ended up doing 6 deals with this guy. I sold him 6 buildings over, I think, what was an 18-month period. And what it taught me, number one, was that the conversations are easy to have. They're always buying and selling. They're in the business. When you're dealing with an investor and a multifamily type of owner, they are business people. They may own their own business. A lot of times they do, but they're business people, and they're in the real estate business. So they're buying, they're selling, they're very, very active. So like I said, it was an easy conversation to have, but more importantly than that, one client I determined can turn into multiple deals very, very quickly. It's not like a house, the lifetime value of a residential homeowner client, could be 4 or 5 deals over the lifetime. And that might include a referral here or there. And maybe they're going to buy or sell 2 or 3 homes in their lifetime that they live in. Right. So there's kind of there's almost a limit on what you're going to expect from a residential homeowner. But a multifamily investor, that lifetime value could be 10x very, very quickly. And depending on what kind of player they are, you could be talking about some pretty significant price points when you're dealing with this space. A 2 or 3 unit building, let's say, for example, in Lakewood might go for 250, 300,000. But a 30 unit building in Lakewood, all of a sudden, now you're a $2 million deal. So you start swimming into that pool with those sharks and those players. That's when things really, really start to get interesting. And those guys, once you become kind of an advisor for those guys and really deliver exceptional value to them, and they kind of take you in as one of their own, they're going to be pretty loyal to you. I've found that at least they make the effort to. There's a lot of guys trying to do the same thing, and money's money and business is business. But a lot of times, if you build that relationship right, the loyalty is there, and they won't just use you for their own purposes, but they're going to refer you out, and they're going to make sure that their friends and family know what you're doing for them. And that leads right into the referral piece of what I want to talk about in this presentation. In my estimation, there are 3 types of referrals in the real estate space. The first type of referral is kind of what we're talking about. It's your client or your friend or family referring you to somebody else that they know. And there's really 2 reasons. There's 2 ways. I'm going to kind of jump around here. I'm going to try to keep this as conversational as possible. So permit me to kind of jump around. So there's 2 ways that you're going to get a referral in the first place. Number 1, it's by delivering exceptional value and exceptional service. That's number 1. You're going to stand out. You're going to do great for your client, and your client is going to become a raving fan. That's the gist of it. You're going to deliver exceptional service. And the second thing is you just got to ask for it. Sometimes it comes down to picking up the phone and talking to a past client or a current client, just asking for the business. Do you know anybody that's doing anything? You know anybody that wants to get a deal like this? Something along those lines. So it's delivering the service, delivering the value, and asking the question and asking for the business. So the first referral piece, where I was going, was the client or current client, past client, sphere of influence to you. They're going to refer one of their friends and family to you. So that's number 1. Number 2 source of referral is agent to agent, and that's where the niche comes in. Now, multifamily happens to be my niche. I tend to attract business owners to me. I tend to attract investors to me. It seems to circulate around multifamily more than anything. But I do, I've done industrial deals. I've done retail. I've done office. I've done a lot in the commercial space, vacant land. I tend to shine mostly in multifamily, and that's just kind of what I like to do. And I feel like those guys also are kind of the most down to earth kind of guys. They're landlords. They're sweeping their floors sometimes, and that kind of thing. So anyway, but when you build that niche, regardless of what it is, if it's multifamily, if it's land, if it's condos, if it's, high-rise condos, or if it's single family home, high-end single family homes, luxury, that kind of thing, you build your brand that way, and you start to stand out. And if you market yourself to other agents and get to know other agents in your marketplace, then you can be a resource to them and allow them to deliver exceptional service to their client by referring the business that they're not comfortable with to you. So now all of a sudden you've got what I like to call is a partnership. And that's key, to consider other agents in your marketplace partners is a really, really valuable abundance mindset way to think and way to go. You don't want to be, we talk about scarcity mindset, we talk about abundance mindset, right? If you're in the referral business, you got an abundance mindset, because you're not just looking at that commission. You're not just looking at hoarding all the business for yourself. You're recognizing what your sweet spot is and what is not. And you find the other agents in your marketplace that that you could trust, number 1, but that you also know that's going to deliver that service and is in that particular space to refer your client to, so that you could trust that they're going to get the service that you would deliver anyway. So to have that partnership within the marketplace, I think is very, very valuable. And, I do this all the time. I make a point to know who the players are in a certain market. Maybe you're going down into a particular neighborhood, or a suburb, or a building, a condo building. You want to know who the players are, and, who you're going to refer that business to. So that's a key point. And that works hopefully the other way, that somebody's going to recognize you as that land specialist, or you as that multifamily specialist, and you'll be top of mind in your marketplace, where other agents are going to think of you and want to be a partner with you. But the partnership piece is a key, because in order to be in order to sell the idea and position the idea of the referral to your client, you should position it as your business partner, as opposed to, I know another agent, or there's another agent that I know, or something like that. No. Let's say we're business partners, because you're gonna collect a fee, a referral fee. They're gonna collect a referral fee. There's a business relationship there. Go the extra step and call them a partner, and be a partner. And when you are a partner, you almost have that psychological feeling where you need to deliver. You need to your integrity now is on the line, because you got a partner that you're working with on this deal, and you want to come through. You want to come through for the client, and you want to come through for your partner. So business partners between agents, referrals between agents, second referral source. Third referral source is referring another agent to your company, or referring an agent to your team, attracting an agent to your team. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road on a lot of this stuff, because, building teams, I'm a solo agent. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm a solo agent. I don't have a team in the traditional sense, but I do believe that there is a modern team out there, a modern team of agent business partners that collaborate together, that could potentially be financially aligned in multiple ways, to grow your business, to grow your credibility, and to grow your wallet. Let's face it, we're all in the business to make money. We want friends. We want to help, right? We want to help people. The more people we help, the better we do. But it is a business, and we are here to make money. So how do we get financially aligned with each other to capitalize on partnerships, and capitalize on niches, and maybe capitalize from other markets? Real estate, and the history of real estate has been that real estate is very local. It's hyper local. And I think that that's changing quite a bit. Real estate, with the internet, and with some of the disruption that's going on in the business, real estate has become very national and very global. And it's not unusual to have a partner in another state where you're collaborating with on a deal right in your own backyard, or vice versa. But again, the key is that financial alignment. And some brokers make attracting or recruiting agents to the company a major pillar. Some don't care. Some independent brokerages don't care. Some have maybe a tiny little incentive. Maybe they'll give you a couple bucks per transaction, or something like that, or a Starbucks card, or whatever all that looks like. But there is a company out there, eXp Realty, that I am aligned with. I've joined September of 2019. And one of the pieces that really made sense to me was that agent alignment from an ownership standpoint, and which made the partnership piece of referrals really stand out and resonate with me. So I'm not going to dive too deep into this myself, but I do want to share a video with you guys. And I hope that, first of all, I want to thank everybody for joining me today. And I hope that the first part of this presentation kind of gave you an idea here or there to maybe implement multifamily into your business, or maybe just focus on a niche. Find a niche that maybe you never realized you have a niche, but you do. And now this kind of triggered something in you, and you can really focus on that niche and become that brand to other agents and get the referrals from other agents. But anyway, what I want to do is I want to offer you the two scripts that I've been using for my multifamily prospecting. They're really, really simple scripts to use. They're easy to master, and they generate conversations, which is the most important thing. So at the end of this presentation, I'll make sure that I either put those in the chat or send them out to you individually by email. There are a couple of PDFs, but I'd be happy to do that. But in the meantime, I want to pivot and I want to introduce you to a guy that I know. He's a business partner of mine out in California, and he put together this presentation that kind of articulates what I've been talking about on how the agent referral business works and how it's tied together on the EXP platform, and what is compelling agents to move their business over to the EXP platform, and really seeing those extra couple pillars of income to add to their business. And at the end of that video, I'm going to tie it all together. I swear I'm going to make all sense of this and put a nice red bow on everything. So if you just bear with me, I am going to share my screen and share, and we'll watch this together.
What I'm going to share with you today literally changed my business, and it changed my life, and it may change yours too. I worked for years as a real estate agent for Christie's International Real Estate here in Manhattan Beach, California, and I was extraordinarily happy there. I loved it. I ran a great business, and I still do, selling about 50 homes per year with an average sales price of about $1 million per home. So one day, a friend of mine, Michelle, who's an agent out in Michigan, gives me a call and asked me to watch a presentation and evaluate a brokerage model that she was participating in. Now, I had zero intention of changing companies. In fact, I couldn't have been happier with where I was at, but I love learning new things, so I was happy to take a look at it. What I saw changed everything I had learned and known about the real estate industry in my 18 years as a real estate agent and broker. I learned that there's a massive disruption occurring today in the real estate industry. This disruption is a cloud-based, technology-driven real estate brokerage called eXp Realty. I was totally blown away by what I saw. So I brought the information on this new real estate model to a friend of mine within my company, a guy named Dave Caskey. I value his opinion because Dave leads one of the most successful real estate teams in the country, doing over $300 million in sales volume annually. Dave took a look at the model and he was totally blown away too. So what we both saw was how innovative and radically different this model was compared to any company we'd ever seen before. In fact, once we saw it, we really couldn't unsee it. And we both decided to make the switch over to eXp Realty. So the question is this: what did a high-producing agent like myself and an extraordinarily successful team leader like Dave, what did we both see that literally compelled us to join this revolutionary company? Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start with a little bit of background. Industries are transformed when disruptive technologies are introduced. Blockbuster is a perfect example. Blockbuster Video was a massive $5 billion company with over 9,000 brick and mortar stores. They completely dominated their industry, right? Netflix had no stores, but they came along with streaming video, and in a few short years, they put Blockbuster out of business. The same thing happened with the travel industry. Do you remember going to your travel agent to book a vacation or a cruise? Not anymore. Travelocity, Hotels.com, and all the travel sites, they changed all that. The same thing happened with the taxi industry and Uber, and it happened in the hotel and accommodation industry with Airbnb. Airbnb doesn't own any hotel rooms. They're a cloud-based company. But maybe the most obvious example of industry disruption for most of us today is the retail industry and Amazon. There are thousands of brick and mortar stores that shut down every year, and Amazon is doing better than ever. So across the board, cloud-based companies have disrupted all these industries, and now that same industry-changing disruption has come to our industry. It's come to the real estate industry. eXp Realty is a cloud-based, technology-driven real estate company that has brought the most innovative changes we've seen in the real estate industry in over 100 years. The old traditional real estate brokerage model typically works like this. there's a big international company at the top. Remax, Keller Williams, Century 21, Sotheby's. Then they divide the country into regions. Okay, so then there's franchises and broker owners, and then they have to hire managers and recruiters and office staff. And they have these big, fancy, expensive offices, and they're filled with copiers and phones and internet, and they have utilities to pay for, and on and on and on and on. There's so many expenses. And the agent is at the bottom of this massive pile of salaries and expenses, and the agent has to pay for all that with your hard-earned commissions. It's a top-heavy model, and it's just not sustainable. eXp Realty is the new model. It's a cloud-based, technology-driven real estate company that eliminates costly commercial office space because it's all in the cloud. And it eliminates millions of dollars of bloated expenses. All that freed up money now goes back to making the agents' lives and businesses better in two major ways. The first is that it's invested in providing the best agent business systems on the planet. And the second is that it puts more money back into the agent's pocket. That's you. At eXp, the agent is not at the bottom like the old model. The agent is at the top because we actually share in the ownership of the company. And we're backed directly by a multi-billion-dollar international tech company. When I worked for Christie's, I didn't own the company. In fact, when I worked for my old brokerage, and then I was exposed to eXp's innovative model of doing business, I realized that as long as I was working for my old company, it was like I was working for a Blockbuster store. It was really no different. And now by working with eXp, it ensures not only that you have a future in real estate, but that your future will be bright. Now, there's three major components that make eXp the model of the future. Okay, the first is our cloud office. It's a virtual office that allows you to work from anywhere. eXp World is a cloud campus that allows you to attend meetings and classes and collaborate with other agents. Now, if you've got a question for the broker, all you do is you walk into the office and ask. I used to have to call my broker, leave a voicemail, send a text, wait to get an answer. And now the level of support I get is like nothing I've ever experienced before. It's astonishing. What if you have a question about a commission check? Same thing, just go to accounting and you take care of it. Want to attend a class? There's over 50 hours per week of live education. And it covers tips on sales and listings. It covers lead generation, social media, CRM tools, and so much more. Let me ask you a question. How much education does your current company offer you? Because the amount of education at eXp, it's extraordinary. So every agent at eXp gets the most powerful CRM and lead generation platform available today. It's called KV Core. Now, non-eXp agents pay $600 per month for this service, over $7,000 per year. This system, it sends buyer and seller leads right to your phone. People that want to buy now, people that want to sell now. And KV Core is included for every eXp agent as part of their $85 monthly fee. KV Core is the industry-leading system that provides you with a personalized IDX website, CRM, email and text campaigns, squeeze pages, landing pages, and so much more. You also get SkySlope. Now, SkySlope is the top transaction management program available today. SkySlope allows every agent to manage their business in an all-in-one paperless system that helps you effortlessly stay organized with your transactions. What about marketing collateral? Well, the eXp Marketing Center has over 5,000 pieces to choose from. Everything you could ever want, whether you need a quick postcard, all the way up to a full presentation, it's all there for you. Basically, everything an agent needs to run an efficient, profitable business is provided for you. Now, if you do want to still go to a physical office, we've got you covered. You don't have to give up your office. Every eXp agent gets a Regus membership, so you can use any one of their thousands of flexible workspaces all over the country. The Regus spaces are beautiful. They're stocked with coffee and tea. There's receptionists there. You can rent a conference room to meet clients. They're really, really spectacular. And it's also a great referral source, just by meeting and networking with other business professionals that also use the Regus shared workspaces. Okay, so the first major component to eXp is our cloud office, right? The second is the equity opportunities. Our agents have ownership in the company as stockholders. When I worked for Christie's, or if you work for Remax or Sotheby's or Keller Williams, you don't own the company. At eXp, we own the company together. eXp is a publicly traded, multi-billion-dollar company with zero debt. We're traded on the NASDAQ with Apple and Google and all the other big tech companies, and our ticker symbol is EXPI. When you sell your first home each year, you get stock in the company. When you reach your commission cap, you get stock in the company. When an agent you brought to the company sells their first home, you get stock. And if you're a top producer, we call it an icon agent, you can get up to $16,000. Your entire cap that you've paid to the company, you can get that back to you in the form of stock. There's even an agent equity program. It's totally optional, but it's amazing, where you can take 5% of your commission check and you can purchase stock at a 10% discount. Now, I've got a question for you. What do you think your financial advisor would tell you about buying stock at a 10% discount the day you buy it? I think they'd say it's a good thing, don't you? Okay. The third major component of EXP is their revenue share plan. Now, revenue share is very different from profit share, which is the Keller Williams model. Because after Keller Williams pays all of their expenses, if there's no profit, how much is there to share? Nothing. Revenue share, however, comes directly off the top. So when you sponsor an agent to join EXP and they sell a home, you actually get a percentage of that commission. And that percentage comes from the EXP portion of the split, not from the agent's portion. For example, agents you directly sponsor are in your first tier, and you receive 3.5% of their gross commission until they reach their cap of 16,000 company dollars. So the maximum revenue share that you can receive from an agent on your first tier is $2,800 per agent. If you attract 10 capping agents to the company, you earn $2,800 times 10, or $28,000 per year. Now, when you've attracted 5 producing agents into your first tier, it unlocks your tier 2, which are the agents your tier 1 agents attract to the company. So tier 1 agents are the ones that you personally attract. Tier 2 agents are the ones that your tier 1 agents personally attract, and so on and so forth. And it goes down for 7 tiers. Now, from tier 2, you receive 4% of the gross commissions from those agents until they cap, which is a maximum of $3,200 per agent on your tier 2. So you actually receive more compensation from your tier 2 than from your tier 1, because you've taken your eyes off of yourself and put it onto others. It's actually part of our culture within the company that we uplift and support others. It's called compensation for contribution. One team, one goal, one fire. As you attract more agents, you can unlock up to 7 levels or 7 tiers. So when you attract 5 agents to the company, it unlocks tier 2. When you attract 10 agents to the company, it unlocks tier 3, and so on and so forth, until you unlock 7 levels. Listen, real estate is not an industry for the faint of heart. Real estate agents are some of the hardest working people out there, and many agents get completely consumed by their business. It's like they're on a spinning hamster wheel, a constant treadmill that they can never get off of. They're constantly searching for their next deal, and they can never, ever stop. Well, now with the opportunity to actually gain stock in the company and the opportunity to build some residual income through revenue share.
I want to stop really quickly right here. And these 2 pillars here, these 2 pieces, is how I tie in owning multifamily property and owning investment real estate to EXP. So why do we buy investment real estate? We buy investment real estate for 2 reasons: wealth appreciation, right? Or cash flow. So what EXP figured out is how a real estate agent's business can create wealth by aligning with a particular brokerage, and that's the stock piece of this. And then the cash flow, the passive income, the passive residual cash flow as it relates to referring agents to the company, is the revenue share piece. That's the income or the cash flow. So, and again, I'm going to tie this all together afterwards, but I just want to pop in here and share that point.
There's finally some tools to give agents a shot of retiring with dignity. I want you to write down a few numbers, okay? The first number is 2.35 million, okay? 2.35 million. The next number is 4%, and the third number is $94,000. So what do these numbers mean? This is what they mean. If you want to retire and you've worked really hard and saved and invested $2.35 million, not easy to do, but if you've done that, most financial advisors will tell you that you can actually take 4% of your investment each year to live on so that you don't erode your principal. Does that make sense? So let me rephrase that. If you have $2.35 million invested in the markets and you take 4% of that per year, you'll have a passive income essentially of $94,000 per year. Now, let's take a look at another way to arrive at that number of $94,000 per year in income through revenue share. With revenue share, if you attract 5 productive agents and those 5 agents do the same and they each attract 5, then you'll have 5 agents in your tier 1 providing you $14,000 and 25 agents in your tier 2 providing you $80,000 for a total of $94,000 in income per year. Now, which is easier, honestly, saving up $2.35 million and investing it, or sharing this information and attracting 5 productive agents? It's actually kind of amazing, isn't it? What if you attracted 10 capping agents and they did the same and they each attracted 10? Even if it took you 5 years to do this, you'd have 10 agents in your tier 1 and you'd have 100 agents in your second tier. Now, if they're all capping agents, that equals $348,000 per year or $29,000 per month income. Again, it's compensation for contribution. Now, let's be totally clear. Are all agents you attract going to be capping agents? No, of course not. And when you attract 10 agents, are they each going to attract 10 more? No. Some will attract 0. Some will attract 8. Some will attract 20. Participating in agent attraction is totally optional. You don't have to do it. You don't have to attract any agents if you don't want to. But it's just really nice to know that if you do have a friend that joins the company because of your recommendation, that you're going to get compensated for that. Listen, there's a whole host of reasons that agents join us at eXp. Some agents come to this amazing company just for the cloud office and the robust business systems so that they can actually sell more homes. Some come for all the amazing education that eXp offers, or the collaboration, or even the stock ownership or the equity awards. And some agents, they just come to eXp for the agent healthcare program, which is amazing. It provides US agents access to innovative and low-cost healthcare choices. And yet others just love the simple, low-cost fee structure, which is the following. Every agent in the company, every agent is on an 80-20 split with a $16,000 annual cap. So once you reach $80,000 in gross commissions, you've reached your $16,000 cap and you go to 100% split with a $250 per transaction fee. After you do 20 transactions at $250 each, you reach what we call icon status. That's when you can receive up to your entire $16,000 cap back that you paid to the company back to you in the form of stock. After that, your transaction fee drops down to $75 per transaction for the rest of the anniversary year. By the way, for agents that work in high-end marketplaces and don't do as many transactions customarily, the other way you can reach icon status and be eligible to earn your entire $16,000 cap back in the form of stock is to earn a gross commission, a total gross commission of $500,000 with at least 10 transactions. Back to the fees. There's a one-time $149 starter fee, which actually includes your first month's cloud brokerage fee. After that, the cloud brokerage fee is $85 per month to pay for all the systems. There's a $25 per transaction broker review fee to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. And there's a $40 per transaction risk management fee that caps at $500 per year. You'll never pay more than $500 per year for E&O insurance. And that's it. The growth of this company is extraordinary. We're now at over 50,000 agents and it's growing every day. eXp is the largest independent company on the planet, and it's the fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate. We're currently in the US, in Canada, in the UK, in Australia, and we just opened up in a whole host of other countries. We opened in Brazil and India and South Africa and Mexico and Portugal and France, and there's many, many other countries to follow. The growth is astonishing to watch, and the collaboration and support are amazing to experience. If you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you.
Okay, I'm going to stop the share right here. Thank you for hanging in there with that. But a couple points I want to make, and like I promised you, I'm going to tie this all up into a nice red bow. So I started my presentation off with multifamily brokerage, right? And investing in multifamily, investing in real estate. A lot of us get into the business to invest in real estate, and getting into that space can drive, can create your niche, can drive referrals from a lot of different sources. So you've got your multifamily niche over here, you've got your referrals and your sources of referrals, the sphere, agents, and then to the company. So the point of this whole presentation is to show you, is to describe what I like to call the three-headed monster in real estate. So we're all in real estate sales, right? So we have our sales business, and a lot of us take the commissions from those from that sales business. We live on it, right? We entertain ourselves and we invest it. And sometimes we invest it in real estate. And the reason we invest in real estate is to build wealth and to have cash flow. And you've got a lot of tax benefits too. There's some tax strategies to owning investment real estate. So you've got that over here. Now you've got over here, you've got your EXP business as it relates to stock ownership and revenue share, referring agents to the company. So you've got a three-headed monster. You've got your real estate investment over here. That's your passive investment, arguably passive. You've got your EXP investment over here, which is arguably passive, right? You've got your revenue share and you've got your stock awards and your stock portfolio that you're building. And then you've got your real estate sales business. And how are you growing your real estate sales business? You're growing it with multifamily and with real estate sales and properties and whatnot, clients and customers and all of that. And you're growing it with agents on your team. And the agents on your team you're attracting to the company, which is over here, your revenue share piece. So it all ties together. I like to call it a three-headed monster. But EXP has figured out a way to really incorporate all of this together to put more money in your pocket. And that's what it comes down to. When you finally do the math, and you look at all of this, if you get caught up in the splits and the fees and what you get and all that stuff, you're going to stay down here. But if you see the bigger picture and you see the long-term vision and can appreciate the equity, the ownership stake that you actually have, and the freedom that you have to run your business how you see fit, there is no better platform than there is that at EXP Realty and EXP Commercial. So if you are a residential real estate agent, a commercial real estate agent, a new agent, newly licensed, not licensed, thinking to get into the business, been in the business 20 years, looking to make a move, looking to see what else is out there, to not look at this platform and look at this opportunity is foolish, quite frankly. You've got to make that comparison. It is not for everybody. There's no question about it. But the way the industry is going and how EXP is positioning themselves, I think that they are the ones that are positioning themselves to succeed more than anybody else. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining me and for sticking in there. We hit where are we at here? Can't tell. Anyway, thank you all for joining me. It means a lot to me. Getting on these things I know is a challenge to spend 45 minutes to an hour on a webinar where you don't even know if you're going to get any value out of, is sometimes a crapshoot, but we're all busy. We're all out there hustling and making deals and making people happy. But, so just from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you all. Thanking you for meeting with me today, and hopefully you got some value. And I will send out those 2 scripts that I promised, and hopefully that's something that you can implement into your business today and start capitalizing on. So until then, everybody have a great day, and we will catch up with you next week. Next week will be week 6